How's it going, folks? That's my new favorite word, folks. Steve Harvey, Barack Obama, you know. All the cool guys use that word, man. So what's up, folks? How y'all doing? Not saying that Barack Obama's cool, because he's not, but Steve Harvey is. So, folks, how are you? Where are you? What are you? No. So, I'm not really sure how to approach this issue. Now, there's some corona, I don't know, virus spreading through the world right now. And it's causing a lot of problems for people. And it's finally caused a problem for me that I want to talk about. My father has lung cancer, pneumonia, COPD, collapsed lung, scar tissue, you know, just not in good shape. And I came down here to visit my father, and I was told that I'm not allowed to visit with my father because the coronavirus is so infectious that there's a chance that you might have it in an incubation period and you enter it, you know, bring it into the hospital. And I get it, you know, you want to keep the patient safe. I do too. So I understand, the reasoning behind not allowing people into the hospital. But the unfortunate downside to that is people need their families. People need their families to have their backs. You know, and especially people who are extremely ill. They need their families. And sometimes, you know, those families are even going to be just that straw that broke the camel's back to make them recover with a positive mind. You know, and love, caring, intimacy. People just rubbing you and saying, hey, it's going to be okay. I have not seen my father yet. I've talked to him. I've brought a few items in for him to the hospital there. But I've not seen my father. My father's not in the greatest of shape. He can't breathe too well. It's really dangerous for him right now. And it must be terrifying. My sister Elizabeth got the appendicitis 3 days ago, and she's on the same floor as my father in the same hospital. They can't see each other. And my father is possibly going home, and they're not allowed to see each other. I'm not allowed to see my father. His wife is not allowed to see him. His children. And it's tough, man. It's tough. But Elizabeth has a roommate who has a DNR. Do not resuscitate. Her name is Cindy. And Cindy has a do not resuscitate. I don't know how old Cindy is or how young. But Elizabeth told me that Cindy, for us to say a prayer for Cindy. So if everybody out there can say a prayer with Cindy, for Cindy with me, I'll be very grateful. And so Cindy said, you know, Lizzie called me and said, you know, say a prayer for Cindy because I can hear my roommate and she's crying and she's scared. And she says that she doesn't want to die alone. And I just thought to myself, thought to myself, damn it, that's a hard pill to swallow. You know, I thought, well, what if I got just sick? What if I just got sick? And they took me to the hospital, and I could not see my family. They could not see me. They could not come to me. What would I feel like? And I immediately felt panicked. I felt panicky. I felt afraid and alone and horrible, terrified, petrified. And I just can't imagine a world where a dying woman or man can be denied the comfort of their family during their last hours, their last days. And that is true suffering right there. That's true suffering. To be dying alone, knowing that your family is right downstairs, right across the street, right down the block, or wherever, and you can't see them. You can't say goodbye to them. They can't say goodbye to you. They can't comfort you while you suffer in pain, while you go alone into the darkness. I just don't know. I just don't know. What kind of country are we? What kind of people are we? I mean, how have we come to that? This woman is afraid to die alone. And if somebody says, oh, you know, well, she's not alone, your sister Lizzie's in there with her. Yeah, that's true. Thanks a lot. You're a genius. I hope you're never in an important position where you can make important decisions, because your logic is effed up. Yes, she should be grateful that Lizzie is there. Lizzie should be grateful that she is there. But is it still tragic for the family? Yes, it's still sad. It's still suffering for that family. And I get, you know, what some people will probably say, like, you know, hey, you know, at least there's people taking care of her. At least there's someone's in there. Your sister's in there with her. She won't die alone. Most likely she won't. Because, yeah, there's nurses. There's my sister. I get it. But it's not the same as having your daughter or your mother or your father or brother or sister by your side while you take your final breath, holding your hand. You know, I held my Aunt Ann's hand while she passed away. And it was the most honorable thing I've done in a long time besides be a father. And poor Cindy, to die without someone holding her hand, it puts chills down my spine. Because, you know, I think of my father passing away with no one holding his hand. And that's terrifying. I mean, that's terrifying. Someone is going to die. You know they're scared. You know they're afraid. And to deny them any companionship is cruel. It is beyond cruel. I mean, there's a lot of people who have passed away in these past few days with no one by their side, completely alone. Completely and utterly alone. They went into the darkness to search for the light. And I just wonder, you know, when this is all over, when the coronavirus is all gone, and, you know, or after the apocalypse or whatever, what kind of people will be left? And I don't don't mean in a literal sense, like who survives and who dies. I mean, what will those survivors be like? What kind of character will we have knowing that we took measures and steps to protect ourselves and others, which caused suffering for another? So for one to prevent suffering, they induce suffering on another. That's what we've done here with the medical restrictions. You know, I can only imagine everything else. I mean, today's my daughter's birthday. Happy birthday, Annabelle. Today's my daughter's birthday. And I think to myself, you know, my daughter probably won't have a party because of this coronavirus. Now, that doesn't mean anything, you know, party, that's fine, you have many more birthdays. But when you think about that on larger scales, when it goes to weddings, people passing away, those kind of things, and that can start to get pretty sad, you know, or people who have worked a long time for certain achievements, and these achievements are going to be postponed or taken away completely and utterly destroyed because of this time of separation, this time of social distancing, which I think is necessary to protect, but also we are hurting while we protect. When we dropped the bomb on Hiroshima to protect ourselves, we hurt a lot of our fellow human beings to protect ourselves. And I'm not talking about Americans, I'm not talking about Russians or Japanese, I'm talking about human beings did that. Human beings are doing this. It's not China, it's not New York, it's human beings protecting other human beings at the expense of other human beings. So how do you choose? How do you choose? Do you say, oh, well, this person might get this coronavirus and then they might die, or in order to prevent that, possibly, I don't know why I'm using the quotations on everything, but yeah, we're going to possibly prevent that by causing this other person to not be able to get the medication they need, not be able to have the proper home health care that is necessary, public transportation for people who need to get around, who don't have anyone to bring them food, who don't have anyone to take care of them. I mean, I can only imagine the smallest little job or task or necessity could become something major and serious and very problematic. I mean, if people ain't going to work, how are they paying their bills? People ain't riding the bus going to doctor's appointments. Sicknesses that they might have found out about, they ain't finding out about them. What about those people who could have gotten the cancer early, but they're not going to notice it now because they can't get on a public transportation and go to the doctor's office because there is no public transportation. There is no doctor's office. It's hospitals time. That's all. That's the only. You're not getting elective procedures right now. They're pushing back elective procedures. It's only necessities now. So I just wonder, you know, how many Cindys are there out there in the world right now? How many? How many poor women and men are alone in their hospital beds right now, facing that door alone? And I want to pray for them. Dear Lord, please have mercy on all of us. We are yours. Guide us with your gentle hands. Keep us safe. Lord, guide my path. Help me find peace. Help Cindy find peace. Help my dad find peace. I'm sorry, Dad. I'm sorry that you're alone. But you're not alone. Because you're right here. I'm right here. In your heart, you're my heart. Strong like bull. Alright? Bubba? So my sister Elizabeth has gotten a package that was time sensitive, I believe. So I'm going to go pick up that package and go to the Home Depot and get some fan boxes. Hang some fans on the porch for my old man so when he gets out of the hospital, he'll come home and he'll have 2 fans underneath his porch to keep him cool. So I'm gonna go get them fan boxes and pick up my sister Elizabeth's package, go home, go to Bocce and Granddad's house, have some dinner, try to go to bed early tonight, wake up nice and early tomorrow, and be grateful for every single second of the day. I'm out here. I'm free. I'm with people. I'm with my loved ones. I'm with my family. Some people are alone in a cold concrete room with a piss poor view of an air conditioner on a roof. My mother's a nurse. My sister's a nurse. My sister Elizabeth might as well be a nurse. She's training to become one. She will be a nurse. My grandmother was a nurse. However, these nurses in this hospital here are not treating our family very well. They're not. They were rude to my sister. They were rude to my mother. They've been rude to me. And I'm not sure why. I'm a little disappointed in that. The fact that we're not allowed to see my dad. And when we don't understand, they threaten us with arrest and removal from the hospital grounds. My father is sick. I mean, people are dying, and you tell them, no, you can't see them, you can't go to them. That's a pretty big thing. It's a pretty big deal. And to not understand us and say, well, hey, you guys, you come in here every single morning to go to work, and yet you go home to your families every single day, but yet you can't risk the people who are in serious injury, or serious need of their family to see their families, and then yet you threaten them because they don't understand, And so, not to badmouth them, but it was horrifying to have my mom tell me they threatened me. Like, my mother's a nurse, my sisters are nurses, they're all nurses, and these nurses didn't have the compassion or the capability or the knowledge to, even if they had the capability, to perform a simple task such as assuring a family that everything was going to be all right in these troubling times. I'm sorry, Cindy. It's not the nurse's fault. I know that. But it's not my mother's fault that she doesn't understand why she can't be with her husband. And I think that the nurses seeing this every single day, even though this whole corona thing is new to them and they're under stress too, I get it. I think that they should be trained at least decently enough to deal with proper communication with a grieving family who is afraid. I don't know. I'm just kind of shocked. I'm kind of shocked at how we've become. Oh man, I cannot imagine. I can imagine it, but that's all I can do. Oh, Michael, Dominic, Annabelle, I love you guys, and I miss you so bad. Hey, I started eating healthy again. Started running and push-ups and sit-ups, kettlebells, stuff like that. So, you know, out of all this dark stuff, it's motivated me out of anger and frustration to be better. So rather than, you know, talk shit about the nurses, I'll pray for them. Pray for them that they'll get the education and the guidance and the wisdom that they need to deal with the next family that doesn't know what to do when their loved one is faced with a serious illness, life-threatening illness. You know, I pray for Cindy, that her family is at peace. I pray for everybody out there. And everybody out there, pray for me. Pray for my family. And I pray for you. Just that God will have mercy on all of us and let us enjoy this beautiful world that we live in.
Tampa Bay's Q105 Roxanne Wilder wrapping things up for now. We'll be getting up early with you tomorrow, as always. And Richfields is next. He's going to do something very special in about 8 minutes.
I just love people. I love the existence of family and love within that family. It feels so good. I can't describe to you how much joy I get from life. I miss Dominic, Michael, and Annabelle. It's so terrible. It's so terrible, so tragic to not be with the ones you love. I miss you all. Alright guys, I'm gonna get on out of here, and I'm driving. Apparently I just drove through the town of San Antonio, Florida. I'm headed towards Wesley Chapel, which is where my sister lives. And yeah. Sorry if I got a little negative there. But you know, my father, it's hitting me right here. You know, and then when I heard that my sister's roommate was really, you know, sad that she was passing away alone, it just broke me. So I had to do this video to talk about the suffering of the coronavirus. That's just one story. I mean, Lord knows your story, you know? So. Alright, I've probably missed my turn, so I'm gonna GPS this the rest of the way. See you guys. Bye.